Welcome to the Mischief Maker broadcast, where chaos, creativity, and common sense collide. Your host, Joel Freeman, was kicked out of high school in Alberta, Canada. He left home at 17 and hitchhiked around North America as a long-haired hippie and dope-smoking fool. He made a 180-degree change, becoming one of the first chaplains in the history of the NBA. As a professional speaker, Joel has traveled to well over 55 countries. His many books have been published in 28 foreign translations. Pieces from his Black History collection have been seen by millions at the United Nations and many other venues. And now, the Chief Mischief Maker himself, Dr. Joel A. Freeman.
Hey guys, Baby Joel here. Guess what? The older version of me told a joke over a Zoom meeting last week, but nobody laughed. Turns out, he's not remotely funny.
There we have it. Now we know for sure he's not remotely funny. And so that's you can take that to the bank. Anyway, it's a good show today. If you're live, you have the opportunity to ask questions. If you're wondering about the title, Mischief Maker Show, what is a Mischief Maker? Well, go to the QR code above or go to the website below and chiefmischiefmaker.com. And I have a whole definition there and a link tree that you can go to, but a definition about what it means to be a mischief maker and how you can become a mischief maker in your part of the world. We have people from all around the world watching right now, and we're going to be talking about being courageous in the midst of cancer. They say that 1 in 4 people get hit with cancer, and maybe those statistics have changed, and it's become more pronounced. Different types of cancer, the way it moves through the body, stage 1, stage 4, stage 5. There's so many different realms. And I know everyone who's watching, I'm sure that you can point, you can raise your hand and say, yes, I know someone in my family system who has cancer and who has battled it or is battling it. Some are in the stage of remission. Some have beat it completely. Family history fits in. But today we have with us someone, a dear friend. Her name is JoAnn Scaife, and she resides in Nashville. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She has been, she's a highly sought after speaker internationally, a seminar leader for business, for religious groups, universities, and civic institutions. She has her bachelor's degree in liberal arts religion from Belmont University in Nashville, and her Masters of Divinity from Central Baptist Theological Seminary in Kansas City. And she's an entrepreneur. She is also a professional life, health, insurance agency owner and financial representative. It's called the Fierce Financial Group. I want you to look at that word fierce, and you're going to see and meet someone who is fierce about life and about loving others and taking every day as a gift. And so anyway, she's a professional podcaster. You know, I'm just doing one live show, and then it goes to different platforms, but she's got 3. So, you'll want to know more about her. And she's the founder of a Restoration Corner ministry, a collegiate nonprofit in Tennessee. She works with singles, and I met her many years ago, but I spoke, I think, at 1 or 2 of her conferences for single people, single adults. And her entertainment area is another level, from musical artist, songwriter, actress, voiceover talent, and model and consultant. You're going to meet her in just a few moments. But first, we're going to play a song. I guess if this is your first time here, I need to mention I'm a songwriter, like JoAnn, and I'm just getting ready to launch my first album. It's called Gotta Know Your Why, and I think we're going to put about 15 songs, as much as you can cram onto a CD or a LP. And so anyway, we're going to be coming out with that within a few months probably. But one of the songs that I labored over, it was quite a difficult song to write. It's called In Praise of Limping. Listen carefully to the lyrics, because you're going to meet someone in a few minutes who has a limp. And this is called In Praise of Limping. So, Mel, take it away.
Jacob was a fighter, but he fought to deceive. A man of ambition, with tricks up his sleeve. He stole Esau's birthright, played the game of control. Jake's life was broke, and God reached for his soul. By the river they wrestled, till dawn's early light. Left with a limp, somehow got it right. Get the big head fall, flat on your face. Walk with a limp, it's the mark of God's grace. Think you're a big deal, you're just starting to fall. But a limp is the mark of surrendering all. Saw the man chasing dreams that he had designed. Built his kingdom, left meekness behind. The walls came down and his plans fell apart. He lost what he built, but then he got smart. As the years clicked by, he had a scar to remind that God does his best work when pride has died. Get the big head fall, flat on your face. Walk with a limp, it's the mark of God's grace. Think you're a big deal, you're just starting to fall. But a limp is the mark of surrendering all. She was a woman who carried the weight of loss and betrayal, a cruel twist of fate. Her dreams were shattered, her heart torn in two, but in her surrender, God made her brand new. She now limps with a purpose on earthbound streets. Her once empty canvas is a masterpiece. The world says the strong are the ones who will rise, but God lifts the lowly, confounds the wise. It's upside down, who gets the prize? The broken rise up where pride is despised. He chooses the broken, the weary, the small, to show that his strength is above it all. So if you're limping today, don't be ashamed. It's a sign that God's love has rewritten your name. Remember this, when life takes its toll. A bad day for your ego is a good day for your soul.
There we have it. A bad day for our ego is a good day for our soul. That song, of course, came from the story of Jacob fighting with the angel. And he got touched in his thigh, and he limped the rest of his life. And I hope you enjoy the lyrics of that song and take it to heart. I've been around, I spent a lot of years working in the NBA, National Basketball Association. Been around a lot of top athletes and met a lot of people who are very wealthy, very powerful. And the thing I look for in people is a limp. And I'm always impressed by someone with a limp because everything is upside down. You read the book of Ecclesiastes and you can see that, oh my goodness. Well, I could go on, but I'm not going to pontificate any longer because we're going to bring to the screen JoAnn Scaife, my dear friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for welcoming me. Wow, what a song, Joel.
Oh,
I'm drying my tears right now listening to that song. Oh my goodness. What a powerful song.
It's going to be on the album that's coming out in a few months. But it's, that took a long time to put together, trying to figure out how to wordsmith the lyrics on that song. And then, of course, the vibe, the singer, the everything. Anyway, enough about that song. Let's turn the channel to you. And now I read a little bit about your life, your business. You have struggled with cancer, and you are a survivor, cancer survivor. But I want to put a pin in all of that and kind of step back and tell us a little bit about your childhood. Do you have siblings? Do you have your parents? What was your upbringing? What were, just kind of give us a kind of a thumbnail sketch.
Absolutely. What a privilege it is to share about my childhood and my family. I was born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, the sunny state, and also the tourist town where I grew up with the family side, a big family. I'm the baby of the family as 5 siblings. We call ourselves the 5 siblings, 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and 3 sisters, including myself, and I'm the baby of the family. So I was always spoiled, Joel, growing up. I got everything, that I could possibly want. They spoiled me rotten. But in my lifestyle was I actually lost my mother at 3 years old or 2.5 years old to cancer. I lost her to cancer. And I was raised by an incredible father, a single parent father, raised 5 kids who has done well in life. One who's deceased now that recently died of cancer. And but it's amazing because my father instilled so much in us about taking care of one another as siblings. But he was a strong man. He taught us about entrepreneurship. He taught us about so many different things in life, making sure that you take care of yourself health-wise. Just so many different things and so much wisdom he gave to us. And I don't think I would take that back for nothing in the world, having a single parent father raising us, because it was kind of taboo in his time that he should not have raised us. he needed a wife in order to raise 5 kids, but he did it anyway. He stood the odds. And with him, he was a civil service man who worked for military for 30 something years. And he also started his own business on the side, 3 businesses on the side. So he taught us entrepreneurship when we were small. I remember as a child going in and cleaning up buildings with his cleanup service, or my brothers and sisters can remember doing yards with his yard service. So just a man who was very determined to raise his 5 kids with as much wisdom and as much knowledge as possible so that they can have a good life. And I appreciate that about my father. He also taught something to all of us, which was entertainment. My father was a professional gospel singer as well.
Huh.
Yes, he
I
was
did not know that.
a gospel singer, and they had a #1 hit song in Nashville, Tennessee. And so I was at an early age traveling with my father.
Is
In
that song on YouTube?
Huh?
Is that song on YouTube or anything where people could listen,
I'm
hear
pretty
it?
sure they can find it. It is Jesus is a Friend is the name of the
Mm-hmm.
song. It became #1 for a
And
little
his
while.
name?
He's in the Melotone Gospel Singers.
Huh.
And
Mellotone.
his name was
Mello.
and his name was Willie Lee Scaife.
Huh.
Yes, Willie Lee Scaife. And some of his favorite music was jazz music. And and some of the great singers of that time in the 60s, in the 50s and 60s. But he taught, he was just an incredible man when it came to music and entertainment. And so they traveled, the states. And as a little girl, I would travel with him because my mother had died at 3, and so he had to take me on those trips. So during those trips, I would be on his knee while he was the lead singer of the Bellatone Gospel Singers. So many times I wouldn't sit in the audience. I always wanted to be with Dad. And so I was always on that left leg hanging on to Daddy while he's singing. I remember
Wow.
that so vividly.
Now, did he
So
play guitar or anything?
he was a lead vocalist. He had
Uh-huh.
my brother played all instruments.
Mm-hmm.
My brother Willie played drums. My brother James played every instrument you can imagine. My sisters was just backup singers. And then
No
many
kidding.
times,
Huh.
many times they didn't travel, but we didn't become a band per se. We stuck with Father. We
Mm-hmm.
on the road with him, but most of the time it was me. It was actually me on his left leg, waiting for him, not letting him go while he led the Melotone Gospel Singers. And that was him and his brother's group, actually. His oldest brother group, the Melotone Gospel Singers were. And so growing up with that and just really learning to respect my father in that day and time when it was taboo for him to raise his kids and to raise little girls. He had 3 little girls. Respecting him as a great parent and a great man who believed in his children no matter what and told us to take care of one another no matter what. It led me into a life of entertainment. I mean, I had an influence of gospel music in my life, but at the same time, secular music as well. So I was a singer and songwriter for many years and worked a full-time job, as most of my jobs were administrative and, like you say, insurance. But it was just amazing how Dad just really taught me as a singer and songwriter to make the best of who I am in that. And so I moved to Nashville. So in that,
I think you froze.
going to Nashville
Okay, there you are. You came back.
and going to Nashville, and I remained in Nashville. I moved to Nashville when I grew up. Went to Belmont University College and graduated from there with a music minor and a major in religion, a BA liberal degree in religion, and has remained in Nashville, ever since. And I started out pursuing that entertainment, lifestyle that Father had instilled in me. And so, in the midst of that, just knowing that Dad was there the whole time as I was pursuing that career. And I've done a lot of great things with a lot of great singers. I sung backup for Louise Mandrell, believe it or not, for a while.
Really?
I was a
Oh,
backup singer for Louise Mandrell, traveled the world with her on some State Farm insurance, on some State Farm insurance arenas. The arenas were so huge, 10,000 people plus. So I had my share of the entertainment and then became a solo artist and an independent artist in the midst of that. Really worked hard at trying to make sure that I pursued that entertainment because I have such a love for it, for the song world. And that's where I am now in Nashville, Tennessee, where I preside, like you said, as an insurance agent was one of the things I've really become to love and do is become a professional insurance agent because there's so much in that. But my entertainment world, I would never give up. I would never lose. So that's kind of a little bit about, growing up. There's so many things that I could share and so in so many ways of how I've been blessed, to know some of the greatest people in the world, from the BB Winans to CC Winans to, even people in Hollywood like the Denzel Washingtons, the, you know, um, Janet Jacksons and different people like that, just knowing them and being a part of some of the things that they're doing in the world. So
hmm.
that's kind of a view of my
Oh, nice.
childhood, you know.
Now,
and
your mom, she passed away when you were 3. What are some of the memories that still are very current with you?
Well, and I will be honest with you, Joel. I was so young, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have a lot of memories.
Yeah.
And this may sound morbid to some people, but the most and the greatest memory for me was her in a coffin
Mm-hmm.
because her face was so beautiful. The funeral home person did such a great job, and we actually have a picture of that. That's what I remember, believe it or not. Now, as far as influence, I got a lot of that from my father. He told me about my mother, and he would share how she was a great singer, choir singer. She had the most beautiful voice. Everybody wanted her to sing in church. So I have a lot of attributes of my mother. And my father did that job of explaining to me who she was to me.
Is your dad still with us
He
here?
is not. My
He's not.
father actually died when I was in my 20s.
My
He died
goodness.
when I was in
Mm.
my 20s. So I've lost my mother and my father and had to grow up without them in my
Mm-hmm.
continue to move forward no matter what. My
Mm-hmm.
sisters and brothers has. Those two brothers and those two sisters push me to move forward and to continue to pursue my life no matter what. And we're really real. A lot of people don't think that we're real, as brothers and sisters, that we have a great love for one another, because most brothers and sisters are fighting or don't get along, have a deep love for each other. And it could have been because we lost our parents at such a young.
Your audio is kind of stopping every once in a while, but we'll figure that
Okay.
out. Now,
Yeah.
how do you keep in touch? You keep in touch with your brothers who are still alive?
Yes, my brothers are still alive, and my one sister is still alive. My brother, I have a brother who lives here in Nashville with me, and I have a sister who lives in Florida, and another brother, oldest brother, who lives in Florida. So, yeah, so that's where they are today. My oldest brother and oldest sister are in Florida. They moved back home where they're enjoying that.
Mm.
And my um, middle brother is here with me in Nashville, Tennessee.
Terrific. Well, we're 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 still getting a little bit
We're
of
still getting a little.
yeah, but that's okay. We'll soldier on. Now you were in entertainment, and when did you get into insurance, and why?
I didn't get into insurance until about 10 years ago. I got into insurance. I was doing it actually while I was in entertainment because I worked for as well for a magazine company called CCM Magazine. I
Mhm.
worked there for Contemporary Christian Music Magazine for a while. And while I was working there, I got into insurance. And it's just been life changing for me. And it's been one of those jobs that has allowed me to be able to continue to pursue the entertainment at the level that I want to continue to do it. But what's so special about insurance is that everybody needs it. And
Mhm.
everybody, I'm in life insurance and in health insurance. It is important that everybody have both of those. And so I've learned and in being in this industry that it needs to be taken care of. And it's taught me a lot, a whole lot about different things. It's taught me about life. It's taught me about the importance of taking care of business before you leave this earth, for sure. There's no doubt about it. So I got into it, yes, about 10 years ago. It may be a little bit longer than that, but
And it must be so rewarding when you helped someone get maybe some life insurance, and then a spouse passed away, or health insurance, and difficulties occurred, and there they have this safety net.
absolutely. I mean, that's one of the most rewarding times to know that you sold that person a policy that actually passed away and they're going to leave their loved ones $30,000,
Mhm.
$50,000 that's going to help them along the road. Not only leave a financial legacy, but also bury them because the cost of funerals are so
Mhm.
expensive these days and it takes a chunk out of your pocket. So the reward is in knowing that people are taken care of and there's a peace of mind for the family knowing that they have some type of financial legacy. And the person that died before they die, they have a good feeling that they're
Mhm.
leaving something
Yes.
for their family. And that to me is one of the most rewarding things to help someone get that done. Yes. And I've had many people die on
Mm.
me and have seen that phase. And really, I just smile and just thank God that I was one of the ones that helped them.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now we're going to take a break. We're at the top of the hour, and when we come back, I want us to talk about your wrestling, fighting with cancer in your own life, and the way it has impacted your body, your mind, your spirit, and just maybe just some things, some wisdom that you can share with us. So we're going to take a break right now with our sponsor, the Rosetta Universe.
Jean-Jean Paulion was one of my students. He was easily bored, but he became intensely focused with languages like Greek, Coptic, Latin, and Arabic. Help the Rosetta Stone Traveling Exhibit Project transform an ancient artifact, the Rosetta Stone, into a modern metaphor for problem solving. Educate yourself.
If you'd like, you can go to the QR code above and learn more about the Rosetta Universe. I think on the link tree, it's number 1 on the link tree. Or go to the website that you see beneath here, chiefmischiefmaker.com. Now, what I've done is I've taken the word Rosetta and I have developed 7 steps to solve pretty much any problem in about 10 categories of problems. And we're in this day and age dealing with AI and so many different things, so many wonderful elements that come with technology, and yet the potential dystopian negative elements. But mostly, I want to challenge and invite, especially this generation, to use their God-given brain before, during, and after their engagement with technology. One of the things that we've done is I've developed this Jack Johnson belt, and I designed this, my goodness, I guess about 6 months ago. And it is, we've had many championship boxers pick it up, look at it, and say it's the most beautiful belt they've ever seen, which is just high. I'm very grateful for their response. But the purpose of the belt is it's an incentive gift. So when you donate to the foundation, here in the U.S., it's tax deductible. Abroad, it's a gift to help develop this initiative called the Rosetta Universe. And it's just then it's our way of saying thank you so much. And we're only making 700 of these belts. Once the 700th is given out as a thank you for a donation, we will then be destroying the design, never to be repeated again. So, JoAnn, bring us into your struggle, your wrestling with cancer. Knowing that your mother had passed away with cancer, your brother, and for some reason this is maybe congenital or something that has been passed down. Tell us a little bit about that struggle. What type of cancer? And as much as you're comfortable talking about this, we want to go as deep and as wide as you're comfortable.
Okay, no problem. I really love talking about this, Joe, because I feel like I have a message, and I'm still living. I'm still here today. And that's what's so important. Cancer has no color. Cancer has no face, no size or anything. It just hits you. It hit me, Joel, when I was in college. Actually, I was 26 years old when I was first diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And I have battled cancer. This is probably my 4th battle with cancer that I'm in right now. And I beat it the other times, and I'm happy to say that. That I beat it the other times. But I was diagnosed in college, and being diagnosed in college, it was really a life-changing thing for me. I mean, I couldn't even begin to express to you how important it was for me to actually understand what I was going through and even question why I was going through it. But I was diagnosed then, and I had after being treated, and they got the cancer. It was ovarian. The medical field. Nashville is the place where the medical field is really incredible when it comes to cancer. So even then, I had a great team of doctors and people around me to help me through it. And even about 6 years now that I'm dealing with the ovarian cancer again, because I had a 20-year span where I had beat cancer. in,
20.
in
Wow.
20 years, and I was walking cancer free. And then 6 years ago, it came back. And it came back in the same form, ovarian cancer. It was ovarian cancer. And there was a tumor that was 14 inches, believe it or not.
My goodness.
Yes, it was huge. It was huge. And they had to cut it out of me about 14 inches. They had to cut and remove that tumor. The
My
great thing
goodness.
about it, I know, the
Wow.
great thing about it is that it wasn't all over my body at that time. And so it didn't get in my bloodstream. Because that's the thing with cancer that people have to understand is that the cells can get in the bloodstream. And when they get in that bloodstream, it's like it can get all over the body and enter in many different ways. So that's why I had that 20-year span, because they had removed all of the cancer cells and the tumors that was in me. When they removed that one tumor, believe it or not, on my uterus, a multitude of other those tumors came, smaller ones came in multitudes to the point where they had to remove my uterus. And so I have not been able to have children because I had to have a hysterectomy early. I had to have all those things early, and not been able to bear. But I always prayed for God to give my bearing to someone else that's able to bear. Let them bear great kids. I used to pray over women and just really pray the bearing gift on them because I couldn't bear. But that's just part of my testimony there. But once they removed that, they removed all of that. I was able to walk 20 years free. And now, what's happening now, that's kind of why I'm going through what I'm going through now. I'm fighting cancer with everything that is within me. I have had six different types of treatments that has been saving my life besides God himself. And I have had side effects you can't even imagine. Side effects from sores in the mouth. And I'm getting deep here, Joel. You let me know. This is too deep.
You let me know. You go as deep as you want.
From sores in the mouth to, passing out every single day, to losing weight, gaining weight, to losing the hair, which I call my beauty spot. My baldness is my beauty, is what I call it. That was one of the most, how can I say it, hardest things to take, to see my hair being cut off. Because a woman's hair is everything to her. So that was very difficult to me, but I end up taking it well. And it's been very good for me because the head tends to get heated. And so that's why the hair has to be removed. And I'm probably not saying anything that someone else has been through or someone else has actually saw another person been through it. But here's the point of where I am now with it, Dr. Joel, is that I am the one that has lived 20 years plus without it, diagnosed 4 times, 3 times, lived 20 years without it, come back and diagnosed again and living 6 more years and more years to come, I will declare, with it. Same cancer, ovarian cancer, and beating it every single day with every life of me.
Now take us back to 26 years of age when you first heard about this. Could you kind of bring us into your mind, your emotions, how you received the news? What happened?
Honestly, to tell you the truth, at 26, I was just kind of having fun. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know the depth of cancer or how it would affect me. And so um, when I heard I was diagnosed with it, I was devastated. My
Mm-hmm.
doctor literally told me I might not live
Hmm.
unless the tumors were, or the tumor was removed. And so I had to live my life like, I was not going to be here tomorrow. So it was very devastating. I just didn't have a good grasp on what cancer was. So very devastating. To answer your question, how was it? It was one, in my mind, it was like, I'm just not going to live to see tomorrow. It was very difficult to grasp at that time. But thank God for great nurses and great doctors that walked me through it and getting the cancer and removing it and giving me life again, back again through that.
Now, when you knew about your mom, was there kind of something in the back of your mind that there's a predilection, a possibility of cancer? Or was that part of your thinking before you're 26?
Not really. No, not at all. It just really, it never dawned on me that I would end up with cancer, because here's the thing. They always said it wasn't genetic,
Hmm.
and it wasn't something I would get because my mom got it. So we were always told that when we got our regular checkups, you know, because I was because of my mom having cancer and many other diseases in my family, I was very avid about having checkups and
Mm-hmm.
seeing my doctor on a regular basis. So, because of having, being very intentional about having checkups, I was always informed about what was going on with my body. So it never really dawned on me that I was going to have cancer, or that there was a possibility of me having cancer because my mom had it. It
Hmm.
just really wasn't, because I was always healthy. I did everything I could to stay healthy, from eating right, to exercising, and to just making sure that I'm living a stress free life, because a lot of cancer comes from stress, believe it or
Mm-hmm.
not.
Hmm.
A lot of it comes from stress, having a stressful life. And my goal in life is to get rid of the stress and live a calm and peaceful life. And because I chose peace, and because I chose to live a calm life, I think that helped me through it. Although I've been through it a lot, a whole
Mm-hmm.
lot.
I
Yeah.
was, I knew two women that had a rare disease that affected their heart and their lungs. They were told you're not going to live past your early 20s. And I remember them in their early 30s, and they had cheated it, like a decade or so. But they had a wacky, I mean, crazy sense of humor. And the thing about them is that they said to me, in a sense, that they were pitying me, because we all have the moment we're born, we're moving toward death. And and they said that they had this gift of knowing that they were wrestling against something that was going to end their lives sooner or later. And they're both gone. They both passed away. I think it was around 35, 36 years of age. But they had such a sense of wonderment about it. And they said, in a sense, they didn't pity me because I didn't have that. That they had that sense of every day is special because we have this death sentence on us and we know it, but you don't, speaking to me. And
Mhm.
that's the kind of way we talked. Do you want to parse that or rebuff it or add some texture to what
Well,
they
I'll add some texture and also kind of agree with it, because every time I wake up in the morning and I see the sun shining, I open my blinds, I know that I am here. That's
Hmm.
another day above water, above whatever I'm living in, and I can go after it and live it like I never lived it before. I can continue to do the things I've always wanted to do. I can continue to love the many people in my life that I want to love. I've just been given another day. I've just been blessed to see the sun again, you know, to see my brother, my sister, again. So I would say I love what they're saying, but I would say every single day I put my feet on the ground, I turn and I sit up and I see the sun through my blinds. That's another day for me to live and make the best of it that I possibly could.
Now, how do you attend to people? Because I think most people they don't want to say something stupid. Many times people will back off from even calling if they hear about struggles or something like that, health struggles. Why do you think that is? And number two, when you are with someone and they find out that you have cancer and you see their face fall, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Now it's on you to attend to their feelings in some fashion, make them feel comfortable around you. How do you deal with all that?
Yeah, I love that you asked that because I was in a situation with that last week with a friend who knew that I had cancer, and we were meeting up ever since that she found out that I had it, and she didn't know how to approach me. We were meeting up to have lunch, and I remember sitting down with her, and that was her first words. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this. And I just looked at her, and this is how I attend to it. And I told her, don't be sorry. It could have been you, but it's not. It's me. God chose me. And so, therefore, because it's me, I'm going to just do the best that I can to live as long as I can and be obedient to the things that's surrounded in this world to help me live this life. So don't be sad. Just spend this time with me and make it the best. And let's just laugh. And let's just continue to get to know each other in a new way. And she was like, that's what I love about you, JoAnn, because you just made me feel so much better. I was so tense, and I was like, don't be. I'm still JoAnn, you know? I'm still JoAnn. I just have this thing called cancer that I'm beating and that I'm winning with every day. And that I will win even when I die, because there will be peace in that too. And so that's how I tend to that. And I think that takes the cake for all of it. you know, that's how I do. I'm very honest with people because another situation was we grew up where people were saying that cancer was the C word, and that you can't say the C word. You can't say cancer. You have to say C. She's suffering from C. And, and if you say that, and, they have these taboos, it might pass on to your family. And so my goal and my heart is to break that myth. It's okay to say cancer. Cancer is not a C word. Cancer is cancer. And it will always be cancer. And we will always have to deal with it and fight it because so many people have it. So take away the C myth, because a lot of people are frightened. And that's why they say the C word. So I've had to attend to that. And the way I attend to that is take away the C word and just say it. I remember saying to my cousin who said that to me, I said, no, brother, just say it. It's cancer. I have cancer. Your friend died of cancer. Your sister died of cancer. It's not the C word. Let's not keep it a secret anymore. because cancer is not a secret.
And that's a gift. That's a gift you're giving them, in terms of how you deal with it with people in a proactive manner. I have another friend. His name is Tommy, and he was out with his girlfriend on the Chesapeake Bay, and for some reason he just got hot and he took his shirt off and he dove in, but it was a rocky shoal about 18 inches deep where he dove in. It's like came up and he happened to hit the right bad spot, I guess, and he's quadriplegic, from I think the C5 down, and he went through, just such terrible, ups and downs and all arounds, the grieving process, if you will, the denial, the anger, just tremendous anger at himself for being stupid to dive in at that, all the different things that were irrational, but he went through it and probably still goes through it in different ways, but developed kind of a dark sense of humor. We get on the phone and he starts riffing about, just crazy stuff that only someone who's quadriplegic can get away with. It's like going to a comedy show and someone who's quadriplegic is up there, telling jokes that you just go, kind of wince, but it gives permission for people to laugh and everything. And I told him, I said, you're kind of missing your calling. You should develop a comedy routine, excuse me, that talks about dealing with disability and but using your sense of humor. And he says, I can't do that. I'd freeze in front of a bunch of kids in an assembly or something like that. But my point is this, if there is a point, is in what way does humor fit into the way you, I don't even want to use the word cope, but the way you address this in your life?
The way that humor fits in, I'm the type of person, I've always been a prissy little girl. I mean, and I've always been shy, and I've always, kind of kept things to myself. But with cancer, I mean, you just have to lay it all out there. I mean, you have to pretty much, strip when you go to the doctor or, so you come up with all these different jokes about how you're dealing with taking your shirt off and taking your pants off and letting different people, check you, or different doctors, whether it's a male or female. So I'm constantly coming up with jokes in that way, So that's where my humor lies, in actually working with the health workers and joking with them. Yeah, my humor lies in that, because I feel like I've always been a serious person, Joel, like very serious. And so because I've been serious, it's been hard to just be humorous. And so sometimes people don't know.
I think you froze up a little bit. You froze up a little bit.
Froze up a little bit.
Did you want to say that again, what you were just saying?
I was saying, I think that's how I deal with that, is taking those everyday things I have to go through and turning them into jokes, whether it's going to the doctor and knowing that I'm getting ready to get a needle prick. And I say, well, how many times like, how many times you going to prick me today? I'm about to fall out here. You're taking all my blood. What else are you going to do? Am I a vampire? So I'm constantly doing these jokes inside of appointments and with my family. We're joking all the time, and we're joking about me not being here. I might not be here tomorrow now, so you need to take care of this. And they're like, we're joking, right? What did the doctor say? I said, I'm kidding, Yeah, so
it might be something that I know you have a podcast about cancer, courageous voice.
Cancer is courageous. Cancer
is courageous.
Yes.
And maybe if you dedicated one or two or three of those shows, or maybe even made it a part of every show, where you might tell the latest cancer joke, whatever that means, and maybe even develop a little booklet around that, or someplace where you're kind of defining, where you're not being defined by cancer. Does that make sense?
Right. Absolutely. I think that's a fantastic idea because that's kind of my message, for living. It's like I'm not being defined by cancer. I'm obviously trying to beat the odds here. And so I'm not being defined. I'm only being developed by cancer. It has brought the best out of me and the worst
Explain
out
that.
of me.
And we have about, let's see here, we have about 4 minutes left or so, 3.5 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
Unpack that for myself and for the benefit of our viewers.
Yeah, I'm not being defined, I'm being developed. When I mean I'm being developed, I mean I'm finding out more things about myself that I didn't know. It's very basic. And in that, I'm being developed into a whole different person. I'm doing things I would never done before. I'm looking at life in a different perspective. So therefore, I'm being developed in a different way than JoAnn was 20 years ago. Because 20 years ahead, JoAnn's having to look at things a little bit different than what she did before. And so as I'm going through that, it's developing me to a different person.
You're brought up in a home of faith in Jesus, and going to church, singing gospel music. At 26, when all this hit you, like kissing a Mack truck at 95 miles per hour,
Yeah.
Did you go through a period of doubt, wondering if this is all just some kind of simulation experience here on this earth?
No. And you know why I didn't? Because I came up in faith. I was raised that God, believe it or not, the basic, that God would take care and get you through any and everything if you trust him. And that...
So there was no bargaining, like, oh, God, if you...
Oh, God, if you do this, I'll do that. No, for me, it was not that.
Isn't
It
that
really
something?
was not that.
Huh.
And I can truly, honestly say that to this day. It was not that. It was more of, God, if you spare me a few more years, then I promise I'll be the best voice that I can possibly be for you.
So you're doing 3 podcasts. Could you unpack that? We have about 2 minutes or so.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my 3 podcasts focus on the 3 things that are important in my life. Number 1 is Black history. I have a podcast called Black History Matters 365, which is so wonderful. And it just focuses on remembering the things in Black history, kind of like what you're doing. And then the second one is Breathe, Scripture Meditation. God spoke to me to simply just, speak the word of God under music. And that's what that podcast is. And then Cancer is Courageous is simply putting a voice and a face to cancer like never before. Because we want to go deep, like you said, Joel, into really explaining what cancer is and why I'm still here.
Well, JoAnn, Carolyn Messernick says, I have had cancer for 25 years and we're both here. You both have rung the bell.
That is so awesome.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Carolyn.
JoAnn, what a joy. This past 50 minutes with you has just gone by so quickly. But thank you for your inspiration.
You have just experienced another episode of the Mischief Maker broadcast. Hit the subscribe button. Connect at chiefmischiefmaker.com. Thanks for coming along for the ride. And hopefully, you are now a bit closer to becoming a mischief maker in your part of the world.